The checkpoint is presented by GM Pharma, the first international multinational pharmaceutical company in Georgia. GM Pharma, to serve those who need it most.
The European Commission has recommended that Ukraine and Moldova should be granted European Union candidate status. The Commission recommended that the status be granted on the understanding that Kiev would undertake necessary reforms to bolster the rule of law, tackle corruption, and meet the European standards in the other areas. The European Union executive made a similar recommendation for Moldova, but stopped short of doing the same for Georgia, saying that for now the country should only be granted the perspective to become a member of the European Union. Ursula von der Leyen said that Georgia should be granted candidate status once a number of priorities have been addressed. The recommendation will be discussed by leaders of 27 nation bloc during a summit next week in Brussels.
The Commission recommends that Georgia be granted candidate status once the following priorities will have been addressed. Address the issue of political polarization through ensuring cooperation across political parties in spirit of the April 19th agreement. Guaranteed full functioning of all state institutions, strengthening their independent and effective accountability as well as their democratic oversight functions. Further improve the electoral framework, addressing all shortcomings identified by OSCE and the Council of Europe and Venice Commissions in these processes. Adopt and implement a transparent and effective judicial reform strategy action plan post-2021 based on broad, inclusive and close-party consultation processes. Ensure a judiciary that is fully and truly independent, accountable and impartial along the entire judicial institution chain. Also, to safeguard the separation of powers, notably ensure the proper functioning and integrity of all judicial and prosecutorial institutions, in particular the Supreme Court, and address any shortcomings identified, including the nomination of judges at all levels of the Prosecutor General. Undertake a thorough reform of the High Council of Justice and appoint the High Council's remaining members. All those measures need to be fully in line with European standards and recommendations of the Venice Commission.
And other recommendations include to strengthen the independence of its anti-corruption agency, bringing together all key anti-corruption functions, in particular to rigorously address high-level corruption cases, equip the new Special Investigative Service and Personal Data Protection Service with resources commensurate to their mandates and ensure their institutional independence. Implement the commitment to de-oligarchization by eliminating the excessive influence of vested interest in economic, political, and public life. Strengthen the fight against organized crime based on detailed threat assessments, notably by ensuring rigorous investigations, prosecutions, and credible track record of prosecutions and convictions. Guarantee accountability and oversight of law enforcement agencies. Undertake stronger efforts to guarantee a free, professional, pluralistic, and independent media environment, notably by ensuring that criminal procedures brought against media owners fulfill the highest legal standards, and by launching impartial, effective, and timely investigations in case of threats against safety of journalists and other media professionals.
Move swiftly to strengthen the protection of human rights of vulnerable groups, including by bringing perpetrators and instigators of violence to justice more effectively. Notably, consolidate efforts to enhance gender equality and fight violence against women. Ensure the involvement of civil society in decision-making processes at all levels. Adopt legislation so that Georgian courts proactively take into account European Court of Human Rights judgments in their deliberations. Ensure that an independent person is given preference in the process of nominating a new public defender, ombudsperson, and this process is conducted in a transparent manner. Ensure the office effective institutional independence. And for the conclusion, the Commission will monitor Georgia's progress to address these priorities and report on them by the end of 2022.
Presented by GM Pharma, the first international multinational pharmaceutical company in Georgia. GM Pharma, to serve those who need it most.